The morning sun of Vesta 7 rose slowly over the hills. It painted the sky in soft shades of orange and pink. The colony woke up to another peaceful day. Birds from Earth sang in the trees that humans had planted years ago. Children laughed as they ran to school. It was a good day to be alive. Yuna was 8 years old. She had long black hair that her mother tied into 2 braids every morning. Her eyes were bright and full of wonder. She loved everything about Vesta 7. She loved the purple flowers that grew near the river. She loved the 2 moons that appeared at night. Most of all, she loved her friends. Her father, Teho, walked her to school every day. He was a tall man with kind eyes and rough hands. He worked as the lead engineer of the colony. He fixed machines. He built new buildings. He made sure everyone had clean water and working lights. The people of the colony respected him very much. "Papa, do you think Rimi will be at school today?" Yuna asked. She held her father's hand tightly. Teho smiled down at her. "I am sure she will be. You two are best friends. She would not miss a day without you." Rimi was not human. She was a Torani. The Torani were gentle aliens who looked like tall, thin cats with blue fur. They had come to Vesta 7 5 years ago. At first, humans and Torani were careful around each other. They did not know if they could trust one another. But children do not care about such things. Yuna and Rimi became friends on the very first day they met. The school was a simple building made of white stone. Human children and Torani children learned together. Their teacher, a woman named Bora, taught them about stars and planets. She taught them about history and math. She believed that learning together would help humans and Torani understand each other better. Yuna ran into the classroom. Rimi was already there. Her blue fur was clean and shiny. Her big yellow eyes lit up when she saw Yuna. "Yuna, I saved you a seat," Rimi called out. Yuna sat down next to her friend. They whispered and giggled until Bo-Ra asked them to be quiet. The lesson today was about Earth. Yuna listened carefully. She had never been to Earth. She was born on Vesta 7, but her father told her many stories about the home planet. "Earth is where humans come from," Bo-Ra said. "It is a beautiful world with blue oceans and green forests. But it is also a strong world. Humans have faced many hardships. They have survived ice ages, wars, and plagues. This made them very protective of their own kind." A Torani boy raised his paw. "My father says humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy." "Is that true?" Bo-Ra thought for a moment. "Humans can be dangerous, yes. But only when someone threatens the people they love. A human who feels safe is kind and gentle. A human who feels threatened becomes something else entirely." The children did not fully understand her words. They were too young to know about the wars humans had fought. They did not know about the battles in space. They only knew about peaceful days and warm nights on Vesta 7. After school, Yuna and Rimi played near the river. They caught small fish and threw them back. They made crowns from purple flowers. They talked about what they wanted to be when they grew up. "I want to be an explorer," Yuna said. "I want to visit every planet in the galaxy." Rimi's tail swished happily. "I want to come with you. We can explore together." The sun began to set. The 2 moons appeared in the sky. Yuna knew it was time to go home. She hugged Rimi goodbye and ran back to her house. Her mother, Unbi, was cooking dinner. The smell of warm rice and vegetables filled the small home. Unbi was a doctor. She took care of everyone in the colony, human and Torani alike. She had gentle hands and a soft voice. "Did you have a good day?" Unbi asked. "The best day," Yuna said. She sat at the table and waited for her father. Teho came home late that night. His face looked worried. He kissed Yuna on the head and sat down to eat. But he did not talk much. Unbi looked at him with concern. "What is wrong?" she asked quietly. Teho glanced at Yuna. He did not want to scare her. "I will tell you later," he said, but Yuna could feel that something was different. Her father's smile did not reach his eyes. Her mother's hands shook slightly as she served the food. The air in the house felt heavy. That night, Yuna could not sleep. She looked out her window at the stars. They twinkled like tiny diamonds in the black sky. She wondered which star was Earth. She wondered if her grandparents were looking at the same sky. In the control room of the colony, Tae-ho stared at a screen. His friend, a man named Dongwoo, stood beside him. They were looking at something that made their blood run cold. 3 ships, Dongwoo said. They appeared 2 hours ago. They are not responding to our signals. Tae-ho's jaw tightened. Do we know who they are? The computer says they match the design of Krell Empire vessels. The Krell. Tae-ho had heard stories about them. They were raiders and slavers. They attacked weak colonies and took people to sell in dark markets. The thought made Tae-ho sick. We need to warn everyone, Tae-ho said. We need to contact Earth. Dongwoo nodded. I already sent a message. But Earth is far away. Help will not come quickly. Tae-ho thought of his daughter. He thought of her smile and her laughter. He thought of all the children in the colony. He would not let anything happen to them. Wake the militia, Tae-ho said. His voice was hard now. Every man and woman who can hold a weapon. We will protect our home. The stars continued to shine above Vesta 7. But somewhere in the darkness of space, 3 ships moved closer. Inside those ships, creatures with cruel hearts made their plans. They did not know about human strength. They did not know about human love. They only saw a weak colony with valuable cargo. They would soon learn their mistake. But first, the long night had to pass. And in her bed, a little girl named Yuna dreamed of purple flowers and distant stars. She did not know that her world was about to change forever. The attack came at dawn. The people of Vesta 7 were still sleeping when the first explosions shook the ground. Buildings crumbled. Fire spread through the streets. Screams filled the air as people ran from their homes. Yuna woke up to the sound of her mother crying her name. Unbi grabbed her daughter and held her close. The house shook around them. Dust fell from the ceiling. What is happening? Yuna asked. Her voice trembled with fear. Bad people are here, Unbi said. We have to run. We have to hide. Tae-ho burst through the door. He had a weapon in his hands. His face was covered in dirt and sweat. He looked at his wife and daughter with desperate eyes. The militia is fighting, he said quickly. But there are too many of them. You have to take Yuna to the bunker. Come with us, Unbi begged. Tae-ho shook his head. I have to help the others. I have to buy you time. He knelt down and looked at Yuna. He took something from his pocket. It was a small device, no bigger than a coin. He pressed it into her palm. This is an emergency beacon, he said. If anything happens, if you are in danger, you press this button. Do you understand? You press it, and do not stop until help comes. Yuna nodded. Tears rolled down her cheeks. She did not want her father to leave. Tae-ho kissed her forehead. I love you more than all the stars in the sky. Be brave for me. Then he was gone. He ran into the chaos outside. Unbi took Yuna's hand, and they ran in the other direction. They moved through narrow streets and broken buildings. Other families ran beside them. Everyone was trying to reach the bunker. The bunker was underground. It was built for emergencies like this. Strong walls. Heavy doors. Enough food and water for weeks. If they could reach it, they would be safe. But the Krell were faster than anyone expected. Their soldiers dropped from the sky in small pods. They were tall and covered in gray armor. Their faces were hidden behind dark masks. They moved like shadows, grabbing people and dragging them away. Unbi saw a group of Krell soldiers ahead. She pulled Yuna into a narrow alley. They pressed their backs against the wall and tried not to breathe. Stay quiet, Unbi whispered. Do not make a sound. Yuna covered her mouth with her hands. Her heart pounded so loud she was sure the soldiers would hear it. She could see their shadows passing by the entrance of the alley. She closed her eyes and prayed. The shadows moved on. Unbi waited for a moment, then took Yuna's hand again. They continued toward the bunker. It was close now. Yuna could see the entrance. Then Remy appeared. The little Tarani was alone. Her blue fur was dirty and her eyes were wide with terror. "Yuna!" Remy cried. "My parents! I cannot find my parents!" Yuna pulled away from her mother and ran to her friend. She hugged Remy tightly. "It is okay. Come with us. We will be safe in the bunker." Unbi looked at the two children. Her heart ached with fear and love. "Come. Both of you. Quickly." They ran together. The bunker door was open. People were flooding inside. Yuna could see Bora, her teacher, helping children through the entrance. They were almost there. Just a few more steps. A Krell soldier appeared from nowhere. He grabbed Remy first. The little Torani screamed and kicked, but the soldier was too strong. Then another soldier grabbed Yuna. "Mama!" Yuna screamed. She reached for her mother. Unbi lunged at the soldier. She hit him with her fists. She scratched and bit and fought with everything she had. But a third soldier struck her from behind. She fell to the ground and did not move. "Mama! No! Mama!" Yuna cried. The soldiers dragged the children away. There were other children too. Human and Torani. All of them crying. All of them scared. The soldiers loaded them onto a transport ship. Inside the ship, Yuna found herself in a dark room with many other children. Remy was beside her, shaking with fear. Yuna held her friend close. "I am scared," Remy whispered. "Me too," Yuna admitted. "But we have to be brave. My papa said to be brave." She remembered the beacon in her hand. She was still holding it. The soldiers had not seen it. With trembling fingers, she pressed the button. The beacon lit up. A small red light blinked on and off. Yuna did not know what would happen. She did not know if anyone would hear. But she kept pressing the button. She pressed it again and again. The ship lifted off the ground. Through a small window, Yuna could see Vesta 7 getting smaller and smaller. She could see the smoke rising from the colony. She wondered if her parents were alive. She wondered if she would ever see them again. As the beacon sent its signal into space, something else was transmitted. The beacon recorded sound. It recorded Yuna's scream when the soldiers took her. It recorded her crying for her mother. These sounds traveled through space at incredible speed. They bounced off relay stations. They passed through communication networks. The signal reached a military station near Jupiter. A young officer named G1 was working the night shift. Her screen suddenly lit up with an emergency alert. She put on her headphones and listened. The sound of a child screaming filled her ears, the sound of pure terror and helplessness. G1's hands began to shake. She had children of her own. The scream cut through her heart like a knife. She immediately contacted her superior. Within minutes, the message was sent higher up the chain of command. Within an hour, it reached the United Earth Defense Council. Admiral Hana was in her office when the call came. She was an older woman with silver hair and sharp eyes. She had served in the military for 40 years. She had seen many things, but when she listened to that recording, something changed in her face. "Where did this come from?" she asked. "Vesta 7, Admiral. A colony on the outer rim. The Krell Empire attacked them this morning." Admiral Hana stood up slowly. "How many children were taken?" "We believe at least 30, human and Torani." The Admiral was quiet for a long moment. When she spoke again, her voice was cold as ice. "Contact every fleet commander in the sector. Tell them to prepare for immediate deployment. We are going to get our children back. Admiral, the Krell Empire is powerful. Starting a conflict with them could lead to war." Hana looked at the officer with eyes that could freeze fire. "They took our children. They made a child scream in terror. War has already begun." She pressed a button on her desk. Her voice echoed through every military base on Earth and beyond. "This is Admiral Hana. All units prepare for full mobilization. Operation Homecoming is now in effect. We bring our children home, no matter the cost." Far away in a dark ship, Yuna still pressed her beacon. She did not know that her cry had been heard. She did not know that the full might of Earth's military was about to descend upon her captors. She only knew that she wanted to go home. And she would keep pressing that button until someone came. The news spread across Earth like wildfire. Every screen showed the same message. Children taken. Colony attacked. Full military response authorized. People stopped what they were doing and watched. In homes and offices, in schools and hospitals, everyone listened to the recording of a little girl's scream. Some people cried. Some people felt sick. But everyone felt the same thing deep inside: anger. Pure, burning anger. Those were human children out there. Those were someone's sons and daughters. And they had been taken by monsters. Admiral Hana stood in the command center of the United Earth Defense Council. Screens surrounded her on all sides. Each screen showed a different fleet preparing for launch. Hundreds of ships, thousands of soldiers, all of them ready to fight. Her second in command, a man named Kyung-ho, stood beside her. He was younger than her, but his face looked old with worry. "Admiral, the council wants to know our plan," he said. Hana pointed at a star map on the main screen. "The Krell ship is heading toward their home space. They will pass through 3 systems before reaching safety. We will catch them before they get there. The Krell have a powerful navy. If we attack their ship, they will respond. Let them respond." Hana's voice was hard. "We will show them what happens when you touch a human child." Across Earth's solar system, ships began to move. The first fleet launched from Mars. The second fleet departed from the stations around Jupiter. The third fleet came from the asteroid bases. More ships joined from every corner of human space. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Other species watched through their telescopes and sensors. They sent messages to each other. What are the humans doing? Why are they gathering so many ships? Is it war? The Torani ambassador contacted Earth immediately. His name was Vero, and he was old and wise. He appeared on Admiral Hana's screen with concern in his yellow eyes. "Admiral, we have heard about the attack on Vesta 7, Vero said. "Our children were taken as well. The Torani government thanks you for your quick response, but we worry about the scale of your reaction. Is such a large force necessary?" Hana looked at the ambassador carefully. "Ambassador Vero, how many warships would the Torani send to rescue your children?" Vero hesitated. "Perhaps 10 or 20, enough to negotiate and show strength. Humans do not negotiate for their children. We do not show strength. We use it. Every ship you see is necessary, because I will not take any chances. I will not fail even once. We will bring back every child, no matter what stands in our way." Vero was quiet for a moment. Then he slowly nodded. "I am beginning to understand why some species fear humanity. Fear is not our goal," Hana said. "But if fear keeps our children safe, then I will accept it." The fleets gathered at a point in space far from Earth. It was the largest military force humans had ever assembled. 500 warships. 50,000 soldiers. Weapons that could crack planets. All of it for 30 children. Hana boarded her flagship, a massive vessel named Iron Promise. She walked through the corridors and looked at her soldiers. They were young and old, men and women. They came from every nation on Earth. But today, they were one people with one purpose. She entered the bridge and took her seat. The screens showed the stars ahead. Somewhere out there, a little girl was still pressing her beacon. The signal was weak now, but they could track it. "All ships report ready, Admiral," Kyung-ho said. Hana nodded. "Open a channel to the fleet." Her voice echoed through every ship. "Soldiers of Earth, today we hunt. Not for glory. Not for territory. Not for revenge. We hunt because our children are crying in the dark. We hunt because somewhere out there, a mother cannot hold her daughter. We hunt because that is what humans do. We protect our own. We never leave anyone behind. When this is over, those children will know that Earth never forgot them. Not for a single moment. All ships, Engage engines. We fly for our children. The fleet jumped into hyperspace. The stars stretched into lines of light. Ships moved faster than anyone thought possible. Engineers pushed the engines to their limits. Every second mattered. Every moment brought the Krell ship closer to safety. On the Krell ship, the captain had no idea what was coming. His name was Grath, and he was pleased with himself. The raid on Vesta 7 had been successful. 30 young slaves, both human and Torani. They would sell for a high price on the black market. He walked through the cargo hold where the children were kept. They sat in cages like animals. Some cried. Some just stared at nothing. The human girl with the braids caught his attention. She was still holding something in her hand, still pressing a button. Grath laughed. "What is that, little creature? A toy? Do you think someone will come for you?" Yuna looked up at him with eyes full of hate. She did not answer. She just kept pressing the button. "No one is coming," Grath said. "Humans do not care about colonies on the outer rim. You are forgotten. You belong to the Krell now." He walked away, still laughing. His crew joined in the laughter. They had done this many times before. They had raided dozens of colonies. No one ever came after them. No one ever dared. But something was different this time. One of the crew members noticed it first. "Captain, our sensors are detecting something strange." Grath walked to the control room. "What is it?" "Multiple hyperspace signatures. Coming from human space." "How many ships?" The crew member's face went pale. "Hundreds, Captain. There are hundreds of ships." Grath felt fear for the first time in his life. That is impossible. Humans would not send hundreds of ships for a few slaves. "Captain, they are coming out of hyperspace now." The view screen lit up. Ships appeared one after another. They kept coming and coming. Warships of every size. They filled the space around the Krell vessel like a swarm of angry insects. A message came through. Admiral Hana's face appeared on the screen. Her eyes were cold and her voice was calm. "This is Admiral Hana of the United Earth Defense Fleet. You have taken our children. You have made them cry. You have 30 seconds to surrender before we turn your ship into dust. Your time starts now." Grath could not speak. His mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. He looked at the hundreds of weapons pointing at his ship. He looked at the faces of his crew, all frozen with terror. 20 seconds, Hana said. One of the crew members fell to his knees. "Captain, please, surrender. We cannot fight this." Grath's hands shook. He had never surrendered before, but he had also never faced the full wrath of humanity. 10 seconds. Grath raised his hands slowly. "We surrender. Do not shoot. We surrender." Hana's expression did not change. "Wise choice. Prepare to be boarded. If any child has been harmed, no surrender will save you." The Krell ship hung in space, surrounded by the might of Earth. The hunters had become the prey. And in her cage, Yuna finally stopped pressing the button. She could hear the sounds of boots in the corridor, human boots, coming to bring her home. The boarding teams moved quickly. Soldiers in heavy armor flew from the human ships to the Krell vessel. They cut through the hull with special tools. They entered from every direction at once. There would be no escape for anyone inside. Sergeant J1 led the first team. He was a big man with a shaved head and arms covered in scars. He had fought in many battles. He had seen terrible things, but nothing made him angrier than hurting children. When he heard about this mission, he volunteered immediately. His team moved through the dark corridors of the Krell ship. Their lights cut through the shadows. Their weapons were ready. "Remember," J1 said through his radio, "the children are the priority. Find them first. Deal with the Krell second." They found Krell crew members hiding in corners. Some tried to run. Some tried to fight. None of them succeeded. The human soldiers were too fast, too strong, too angry. They knocked down every enemy in their path. J1 kicked open a door and found himself in a large room. What he saw made his blood boil. Cages, dozens of small cages. And inside those cages were children, human children, Torani children, all of them dirty and scared. They looked at the soldiers with wide eyes. They did not know if these new creatures were friends or more enemies. J1 took off his helmet. He wanted the children to see his face. He wanted them to see that he was human. Just like some of them. "It is okay," he said softly. "We are here to take you home." A little Torani girl with blue fur started to cry. She reached through the bars of her cage toward the soldiers. "Please," she sobbed. "Please help us." J1 felt tears in his own eyes. He blinked them away and got to work. His team broke open the cages one by one. They lifted the children gently and carried them toward the exit. In another part of the ship, Admiral Hana had come aboard personally. Kyung-ho tried to stop her. He said it was too dangerous for the fleet commander to board an enemy vessel. But Hana would not listen. "Those are my children out there," she said. "I will not sit safely on my ship while they are still in cages." She walked through the corridor with a squad of elite guards around her. Her face was calm, but her hands were tight fists at her sides. They found Captain Grath in the control room. He was on his knees with his hands behind his head. Other Krell officers knelt beside him. They all looked terrified. Hana stood in front of Grath and looked down at him. She did not speak for a long moment. The silence was heavier than any words. "Do you know why we came with so many ships?" she finally asked. Grath shook his head. He could not find his voice. "Because we wanted you to understand something. We wanted the entire galaxy to understand something." Hana leaned closer. "Humans protect their children. Not because it is smart, not because it is easy, but because it is who we are. Every single one of those children is worth more than your entire empire." "We did not know," Grath whispered. "We thought humans were weak. Other species do not fight for slaves. They negotiate. They pay. We are not other species." Hana straightened up. "You will be taken to Earth for trial. You will face justice for your crimes. And your empire will learn that there are some things you do not touch." A soldier entered the room. "Admiral, we have found all the children. 30 in total. Some minor injuries. But they are all alive." Hana closed her eyes for a moment. Relief washed over her face. "Take them to the medical ships. I want every doctor we have checking them." "Yes, Admiral." Hana turned to leave, then stopped. She looked back at Grath one more time. "One more thing. There was a little girl. She had a beacon. She kept pressing it even when you took her. Even when you laughed at her. She never gave up. I want you to know that her signal is the reason we found you. A child brought down your ship. Remember that." Grath lowered his head in shame. He had nothing to say. On the medical ship, the children were being treated. Doctors and nurses moved quickly but gently. They gave the children food and water. They cleaned their wounds. They wrapped them in warm blankets. J1 found the human girl with the braids. She was sitting alone on a bed, still holding the beacon in her hand. Her eyes were empty and tired. He sat down next to her. "Hello. My name is J1. What is your name?" The girl did not answer at first. Then, slowly, she looked up at him. "Yuna," she said quietly. "My name is Yuna. That is a beautiful name. Yuna, you are very brave. The bravest person I have ever met." Yuna's lip trembled. "I kept pressing the button. The bad man said no one would come, but I kept pressing it." J1 smiled gently. "And we came. We will always come. That is what humans do." Tears started to fall from Yuna's eyes. All the fear and pain she had been holding inside came rushing out. She cried, and J1 held her close. He let her cry into his shoulder. He did not say anything. Sometimes silence is better than words. Across the galaxy, the news spread. The Krell Empire had attacked a human colony. They had taken human children. And Earth had responded with 500 warships. Other species watched in amazement and fear. The Torani ambassador sent a message of thanks to Earth. The Neth Collective, a peaceful species, sent congratulations, but other, more aggressive species went very quiet. They had always thought about attacking human colonies. They had always believed humans were not strong enough to protect their outer settlements. Now they knew the truth. Distance did not matter. Numbers did not matter. If you touched a human child, the entire might of Earth would come for you. In the control center of the Krell Empire, the leaders met in secret. They had lost one ship and its crew. They had lost face in front of the entire galaxy. But more importantly, they had lost something else. They had lost the illusion that humans were weak. What do we do now? One leader asked. Another leader, older and wiser, shook his head. We do nothing. We never touch human space again. We were lucky. They only took our ship and our crew. Next time, they might take our entire empire. The meeting ended in silence. The Krell Empire would survive, but it would never be the same. The lesson had been learned. Some creatures should not be disturbed, and nothing was more dangerous than a human protecting their young. Back on the medical ship, Yuna had stopped crying. She was eating warm soup and holding Rimi's paw. Her best friend was beside her again. They were safe. They were going home. Do you think our parents are okay? Rimi asked. Yuna thought about her father running into the fire. She thought about her mother falling to the ground. She did not know if they were alive. The thought hurt too much. We will find out soon, she said. But no matter what happens, we have each other. We will always have each other. The two friends held each other close. Outside the window, human warships surrounded them like guardian angels. They were heading back to Vesta 7. They were heading home. The fleet arrived at Vesta 7 3 days later. The planet looked different from space. Smoke still rose from some parts of the colony. Buildings lay in ruins. But the people had survived. Most of them, at least. Yuna pressed her face against the window of the medical ship. She searched for her home among the broken streets. Her heart beat fast with hope and fear. She did not know what she would find down there. Admiral Hana gave orders for the children to be brought down carefully. Medical teams went first to prepare the landing area. Then the children were loaded onto small transport ships. Yuna held Rimi's paw the entire time. When the transport landed, Yuna could see a crowd waiting. People were pushing against barriers, trying to see the children. They were calling out names. Ji-yeon, Suho, Mina. Voices full of desperate hope filled the air. The doors opened. Yuna stepped out into the sunlight. For a moment, she could not see anything. The light was too bright after days in the dark ship. Then she heard it. A voice she knew better than any other. Yuna, Yuna, my baby. Her mother was running toward her. Eunbi's head was wrapped in bandages. She moved with a limp. But she was alive. She was alive. Mama! Yuna screamed. She ran as fast as her small legs could carry her. She crashed into her mother's arms. They fell to the ground together, holding each other and crying. Eunbi kissed her daughter's face 100 times. I thought I lost you. Eunbi sobbed. I thought I would never see you again. Mama, I kept pressing the button, just like Papa said. I never stopped. Eunbi pulled back and looked at her daughter with wonder. You brave, beautiful girl. You saved yourself. You saved everyone. Yuna looked around through her tears. Where is Papa? Where is he? Where is he? Eunbi's smile faded for a moment. Fear gripped Yuna's heart. Then another voice came from behind them. Did someone ask for me? Yuna turned around. Her father was there. Taeho was standing with the help of a crutch. His arm was in a sling. Cuts and bruises covered his face. But he was smiling. He was alive. Papa! Yuna ran to him and hugged his legs. Taeho dropped his crutch and fell to his knees so he could hold his daughter properly. The family came together in a circle of arms and tears. You did it, Taeho whispered. You pressed the button. You brought them all the way here. I was so scared, Papa. But I remembered what you said. Be brave. Taeho held her tighter. You are the bravest person I know. Nearby, Rimi had found her parents too. The Torani family embraced in their own way, rubbing their faces together and purring loudly. Their blue fur was wet with tears. Admiral Hana watched from a distance. She stood with her hands behind her back, her face calm but her eyes soft. Kyung-ho stood beside her. "We did it," he said quietly. All 30 children returned safely. Hana nodded. "This is why we fight. Not for power, not for territory. For moments like this." The Torani ambassador approached them. Vero walked slowly, his old bones tired from the journey, but his yellow eyes were bright with emotion. "Admiral Hana," he said, bowing his head. "On behalf of all Torani people, I thank you. You saved our children alongside your own. You treated them as equals." "They are equals," Hana said simply. "Children are children. They all deserve protection." Vero smiled. "You know, I have studied many species in my long life. I thought I understood humans. I thought you were just another aggressive species that conquered and fought. But I was wrong. You are something else entirely. You are protectors. It is your nature. We try to be." The ambassador looked at the reunions happening all around them. Human parents holding human children. Torani parents holding Torani children. And sometimes, human and Torani children holding each other. "This day will change things," Vero said. "The galaxy will never see humans the same way again. Other species will think twice before threatening your people. But more importantly, they will see that your strength comes from love, not hate." Hana thought about his words. "I hope you are right. I hope this brings peace, not more war. It will bring both, probably. But in the end, I believe the peace will last longer." The days that followed were full of work. The colony had to be rebuilt. Homes had to be repaired. Bodies had to be buried. The attack had killed 42 people. Humans and Torani mourned together. But there was also hope. Ships from Earth brought supplies and workers. Engineers came to fix the power systems. Doctors came to heal the wounded. Teachers came to help the children recover from their trauma. Yuna slowly returned to normal life. She had nightmares sometimes. She would wake up screaming, thinking she was back in the cage, but her parents were always there to hold her. Rimi came to visit every day. They played by the river again, though they stayed closer to home now. 1 month after the rescue, Admiral Hana came to visit the colony. She wanted to see how the people were recovering. She also wanted to meet the girl whose cry had summoned the entire fleet. Taeho brought Yuna to meet the admiral. The little girl was nervous. She had never met anyone so important before. Hana knelt down so she could look Yuna in the eyes. "So you are the brave one. The girl who never stopped pressing the button." Yuna nodded shyly. "I was really scared. Being brave does not mean you are not scared. Being brave means doing the right thing, even when you are scared. You did that. You saved yourself and many other children." She took something from her pocket. It was a medal, gold and shining, with the symbol of Earth on one side. "This is the Medal of Courage. It is usually given to soldiers who show great bravery. But today, I am giving it to you, because you earned it." Yuna took the medal with trembling hands. She looked at it with wide eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. Hana stood up and looked at Taeho and Yunbi. "You raised a remarkable daughter. You should be very proud." "We are," Yunbi said, pulling Yuna close. "More than words can say." That night, there was a celebration in the colony. Humans and Torani gathered together. They ate food from both cultures. They sang songs and told stories. Children played, while adults laughed and cried. Yuna sat with Rimi on a hill overlooking the party. The 2 moons were bright in the sky. Purple flowers bloomed around them. "Do you think they will ever come back?" Rimi asked. "The bad aliens?" Yuna thought about it. She thought about the 500 ships that had come for her. She thought about Admiral Hana's cold eyes and strong voice. She thought about the might of Earth. "No," she said finally. "I do not think they will." Rimi's tail swished with relief. "Good. I want to be safe here. I want to explore the stars with you someday, like we planned. Yuna smiled. We will. We will explore every planet in the galaxy. And no matter where we go, we will never be alone. Earth will always be watching over us. The two friends sat together in comfortable silence. Above them, the stars twinkled like promises, and somewhere out in the darkness, human ships patrolled the space lanes, watching, waiting, ready to answer the next cry for help. Because that is what humans do. They protect their own. They never forget. They always come. And the galaxy had finally learned this truth.